Let the stream begin.
I've been looking forward to this.
Oh, yeah, baby. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the Geeknd Live. Are we live? I think we're live. Yeah, StreamYard says we're live. I'm Jamie. Hello. Hope you're doing good. We're here to talk about The Mandalorian Chapter 21. If you're watching here live in real time, thank you for joining earlier than normal. Apologies if that's like messed up your day, your evening, wherever you are on this football we call planet Earth. Got things to do, got places to be, basically. It's my last couple of days here in Mexico City. You're probably now familiar with this Airbnb. Actually, it's not an Airbnb, but anyway, this backdrop. So yeah, got a few things to do on my final days, and then heading back to home, heading back to the UK. And there will not be a stream next Thursday at all because I will be in rehearsals for Celebration. So if you don't know already, somehow I've been announced as one of the hosts, and I'm now on the website with this very interesting picture, which I actually did in this very seat I'm sitting in. I got asked if I have headshots. If you don't know already, actors tend to have headshots for their sort of agency websites and what have you, as part of like their packs that get sent out when they're looking for auditions. I do have like a sort of presenter-y one from a few years ago with the old hair, but I did not have an up-to-date one. And I just got back from a trip to the coast. And you might remember I did a stream. I was pretty badly sunburnt. So anyway, did a DIY effort sitting here, and I still look pretty pink. But I think I filtered enough of the sunburn out. But there I am, looking quite 1990s Bon Jovi. So yeah, there'll be no stream next week, next Thursday anyway, because I will be in rehearsals on Thursday and horrendously jet lagged, I should imagine. So pretty much going straight there off the plane. So yeah, we'll try and do a stream. I don't know, as some of you will know already, with productions of any kind, things don't go to plan. So I know a rough schedule, but I can't imagine that's going to be the exact schedule. So I'm not going to commit to when a stream will be next week, but try and get it done around Celebration, from Celebration if possible. If not, it'll have to be the week after and cover both episodes that will have dropped by then. But anyway, let's do a few hellos. Now the housekeeping's out of the way. Daniel Spartan, hope you're doing well. Yeah, sorry for the early stream. The kids are still awake. Well, let them watch. This is family-friendly content. Power Joy Girl Leon is here as well. Yeah, I know. Sorry, I didn't inform. I didn't give much notice for this earlier stream, but thankfully the notification bell is actually working because it does not always. Matthew Stokes is here as well. Mr. Matthew Stokes, who will be at Star Wars Celebration as well. I'm hoping to see you there, my friend. Daniel Spartan, in regards to what we're here to talk about, by the way, and there will be spoilers very soon. Chapter 21 of The Mandalorian. After the last few episodes, I've not got much to comment on this week. Pretty solid entry. Gaz Nottingham says hello there. Hello to you, Gaz Nottingham. Hope you're doing well. Jane Flakes is here as well. Hello, younglings, Sith, and Jedi friends. I've not caught up on the last two episodes of Bad Batch, which dropped yesterday. And that's another thing, actually, as well. I will be recording with Chad and possibly somebody else that you might know after Celebration to sort of do an overall look back at the Bad Batch, and maybe there'll be some Bad Batch further news from Celebration as well. So we'll be doing that after Celebration. But yeah, you weren't the first person to spoil that for me, Jane. It was actually Glenn, the geeking hippie. So shame on you. But it's my fault, I guess. Shame on me for not being up to date. Right. Peter's here as well. Hope you're doing well, Peter. And we also have Clay's in the house. Chad Campbell's here as well. Chad, I listened to your podcast yesterday for this Mando episode, Star Wars Lunchtime Special, and it was very, very, very informative, very good. You weren't ranting too much, and that's not a bad thing. Yeah, check out Chad's podcast if you haven't. Joe's Capone is here as well. Brad Volmer, still want to call you Brad Snoke, Brad Volmer. Not Brad Snoke anymore. But hope you're doing well. And have I said hello to everybody? No, I have not, because Anders Lay is here. Hope you're doing well, Anders. And I think I have said hello to everybody that has made themselves known in the live chat. If you're watching in the future, aka on the replay, then drop us a comment. I'll probably reply eventually. I will reply eventually, just don't know when exactly. Anyway, let me give you some brief thoughts that I have on Daniel Spartan locking himself in the bathroom. Is that to escape the kids? Is this on purpose? But I'll also give you some thoughts that I have on Mando Chapter 21, The Pirate. So we talked about Captain Mossface. Is that what we named him? And it always seemed likely that we hadn't seen the last of his mossy face. And turns out we hadn't. It was back in all of its moss-on-face glory. I thought this was going to be a bit of one of those side questy type episodes, which I know splits people down the middle. With Mando coming to the rescue of Grief and Navarro, which it kind of was. There was a lot of pretty rousing. It was an action-heavy episode with that side quest at its center. With all the Mandos taking out the pirates pretty easily, it seemed. But then again, so much more happened around that stuff that feels like it moved the overall story on quite a lot, actually. And it might go as far as saying that I think the series might have found its main focus with this episode, which is great. Obviously, we haven't got very long to go. It's crazy that we're over the halfway point now of this season, but we definitely have an idea of where we're headed with the reclaiming of Mandalore. But I think there's still enough mystery at play, which makes things interesting. It's also kind of like weird. It's not a complaint, but kind of weird, like how Bo-Katan feels like the main Mando in Din's show right now, which maybe serves Din right for stealing Boba's show, taking a book out of the book of Boba, one might say. And it was also nice to see Carson Teva back, played by Paul Sun-Hyung Lee. Makes you think about that Rangers show, right? There was quite a lot of this episode that made me think of that Rangers show. So he's in this bar where there's like this space 70s kind of rock song playing, which was kind of weird, but kind of good. And there's a cameo from Rebels, which even I got, everybody, because I have seen some of Rebels, a couple of seasons. And yes, I know I still need to watch it all. So Seb of Rebels fame pops up. And I saw online that, to confirm that it was Zeb, the voice actor, Steve Blum, actually did voice the character in this episode of Mandalorian. So that pretty much confirms that it is Zeb from Rebels. So Tev is doing some investigating, and again, it gets you thinking about that Rangers show, and he wants to help Navarro. He also suspects the pirates might be in coalition with Imperial remnants. He knows something's happening out there, which is something he was going on about in the last season as well. So he heads to Coruscant, and I did not expect to see Coruscant so much in this season so far. We've seen it 2 or 3 times now in like the last 2 or 3 episodes. Also, at this point, I was starting to think we weren't going to see Din at all, or not much of him, like the Dr. Pershing episode. And when on Coruscant, we see, is it Elia Kane, the female Imperial officer from the Pershing episode from Moff Gideon's ship, who I think it's confirmed at this point is definitely still evil. She's manipulating things a bit there. And yeah, we have this ending, which was a lovely, genuine, for me anyway, what's going to happen next type ending. And yeah, so we're left with this idea of restoring Mandalore, Bo-Katan's redemption, and also this mysterious growing Imperial plot with Moff Gideon, who we are surely just an episode 2 away from seeing. But with this New Republic sort of world building that's out there, which I really like, by the way. And Chad said something interesting on his podcast about how, times of peace are actually more complicated than times of war in a way. So it's quite interesting to see the struggles of the New Republic and, the imperfections, which in a way isn't surprising because this was like an emergency, last minute setup government type thing. But it also makes you wonder how much of this was originally meant for Rangers of the New Republic, the currently shelved show. But then again, a lot of this is supposed to be tying into perhaps Ahsoka as well. So yeah, be interesting to see how all of this overall storyline plays out. But yeah, it was a fun episode. And also something else, Chad, that you said in the podcast, which was interesting, with the Mandalorian involvement perhaps with Moff Gideon at the end there. Chad suspects it might be the armorer involved? Could the armorer be a big bad after all? But yeah, I thought this was a fun episode. I'm giving it an 8. And also, one of these, where are they?
How was it?
Wizard.
Yeah, gets a Mangio. Yeah, I'm giving it an 8. It was a fun episode. The action was just fun. But also, yeah, I feel like this episode has given the season its focus, and I'm looking forward. I hope to capitalize on that with just a few episodes left. But I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. So let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Yeah, good point. Is it actually Din's show? There are many Mandalorians. Din is but one of them. Yeah, fair enough. Jane Flake says Seb was awesome. Nearly we, but didn't we? I'm going to go up a little bit. Hang on a second. Yes, Daniel Spartan, are you out of the bathroom yet? Oh, you have confirmed that it's the only safe space. Good. Carson Tevra is such a cool dude. Yeah. And the actor, you know, like if you don't know already, go and watch the interview with him on this channel, please. Paul Sun Hyung Lee. Genuine Star Wars fan. He could have turned up to set in one of his homemade outfits. You know, he's a hardcore cosplayer, still is, you know, even now he's in Star Wars. Such a, you know, like, it's not fan done good because he's like an actor, a trained actor anyway, but such a lovely story and a lovely dude and a good character. Shame about the Republic show, but nice to see that they're keeping him involved still. And Jones also confirms that Paul is the friggin' man. Love that guy. Glenn says, I've been saying since we saw the Mythosaur that Bo-Katan is going to end up leading the Mandos without the dark saber. There's a lot of love from Jane Flakes for Bo. It's too late now, isn't it? Mandanalysis or Mandalore Review or something else. It's a bit late now to give it a name, I guess. But we could still do it, I guess. Apparently, not only was Seb in there in the bar, but Filoni's pilot was too. Okay, cool. I didn't notice that. I'll have to go back and see if I can spot that Filoni-based Easter egg. Right. Gaz Nottingham says, nice touch with Captain Seaweed Face. Ship firing projectiles similar to cannonballs. Could have easily been laser fire, but I like they went the extra mile on the design effects. Yeah, and when they turned the ship, wasn't it like an actual, you know, ship on waters sort of steering wheel type thing? I don't know. Did I imagine that? Clay's also enjoyed the Zeb cameo, describing it as epic. Someone's going to need some luck from Daniel Spartan. You're going to need it, apparently, whoever you are. Who needs the luck? Hello to I Just Felix. Hope you're doing well. Glenn is rooting for Bo-Katan at this point. And I think in terms of the episode, it was Wizard. We're seeing some scores coming in. One coming in from Glenn, the geeky hippie, right now. It's a 7.5 out of 10. Jane Flakes also would give it a Mangio. Watched that episode and went to see Bollywood in Bristol. Bloodywood, sorry, in Bristol. Nice, Jane. Yeah, Bloodywood makes sense knowing you more so than Bollywood. But hey, who knows? You can talk about Rebels. Bad Batch in the chat if you want. It's already been ruined for me. So just keep going, everybody. Matthew Stokes says, Trapper Wolf. So that's Filoni's pilot was in the bar too, in his cowboy hat. Cool, man. I'm going to have to go back and look at that, although I imagine somebody screen grabbed it. But this episode deserves a rewatch anyway. Daniel Spartan as the armorer is in a worried place because will she be the leader? Yeah, she's up to something. And again, Chad's theory that she might actually, I don't know why, but she might be helping Gideon's quite interesting because there did seem to be some sort of Mandalore involvement with his escape. Somebody's living the dream from Power Droid Girl there. The pirate ship was great, says Matthew Stokes. Oh, so Deborah Chow has had a cameo as well. Filoni was chatting with Deborah Chow and Rick, whose name I can't spell. Gaz Nottingham in regards to Carson Teva. Paul is awesome. Love him as Appa too. He has an unboxing YouTube show and he seems like such a decent guy. Yeah, he does a bit on YouTube, doesn't he? And Appa was the character in the Canadian comedy show he was in for a long time, right? Which I never saw, actually. I watched some clips before interviewing him. So, yeah. Peter says Zeb was well done. Daniel says shame they've destroyed the ship. Could have done with that. I just Felix says Dan said rebels will not come in handy. Low. There's a lot of love for the pirate ship design. Also from Clay's there. And Power Droid Girl adds that we've had Purgils and Zeb. Rebels fans are having our moment. Yeah, I need to catch up, don't I? I know, Glennon, you ruined it. You ruined it, baby. But I don't mind. It's okay. Jane Flex says Bad Batch made me cry. That hurt. I knew it was coming, but I got the wrong guy in terms of predicting the death, right? Peter says even Jamie saw the Rebels thing, so there must be quadrillions of Rebels fans now. Chad, in regards to, I'm going to listen to his podcast to have more on his theory, but in regards to the armorer, the end kind of set that up, and it wouldn't surprise me if this whole thing is part of their act. She's just being too nice. Yeah, I was quite surprised with the way she was with Bowen, actually encouraging her to take the helmet off and to go and reunite, etc. Gaz Nottingham says, as a fan of the sequels and the Rise of Skywalker in particular, I feel like Star Wars going more into that era of storytelling will only do great things for those who haven't caught the love train. Yeah, let's see how that goes, man. Let's see how that goes. It's definitely the way it's going anyway, the direction it's going, it seems. I don't agree with this all this like fixing the sequels, but then when all is said and done, we'll see how it adds to the sequels. Like Clone Wars did for the prequels, adds. I'm not saying fixed, in my opinion, anyway. Powder Girl, Gideon laid waste to Mandalore. He held the dark saber. He'd have access to Beskar, and he'd be able to use it to frame them. Yeah, interesting too. David McKay is here, 100%, Gaz. In regards to the comment, I guess we just read from Gaz. So Peter listened to Chad's podcast. A little bit of an exchange going on between the two. I can see in the chat there. All right, everybody, get your scores in, please, for The Mandalorian chapter 21, and then I will bid you a farewell. You go off into the night or into the day, depending on where you are. And if you have just joined, as a reminder, there will not be a stream next Thursday because there will be in celebration rehearsals, fresh off a long haul flight. So yeah, we'll try and do one over the weekend, but I can't commit because of the schedule and what have you. But if not, be back the week after for sure. So let's get your scores in for The Mandalorian chapter 21, The Pirate. All right. I think we've got a score here from Daniel Smarton, 8.4. Wow, big score from Jane, who does have her own system. You should be familiar with it by now. 10.5 out of 12. It's an 8 from Chad. Yeah, so you haven't moved on that. I think you gave it an 8 on your podcast. I think you're toying with maybe going up a little bit, nudging it up to an 8.5, but looks like you haven't. Clays gives it an 8 as well, same as me. I think I said that, didn't I? Jones Capone, mean pirate captain with incompetent first mate, gave familiar Captain Hook plus Shmee vibes, good old fashioned family fun. It was a fun episode. But again, the stuff around that fun has, I think, helped this series hopefully find its this season find its focus. It's a 7 from David. It's a 7.5 from Jones Capone. Peter says, yes, all watch with your ears, Chad's podcast. It's fun. It is fun. It's good quality. 9 out of 10 from Gaz. One of the best episodes yet. Is that like Mando in general or just this season? I definitely agree with this season. All right, final scores. Give it a couple of minutes, everybody. And then we will say goodbye. And Chad will be very happy because it looks like we'll definitely be under 30 minutes. Glenn says, love the wardrobe on the Ugnaught pirate. Totally made me think of half the pirate movies out there. It's a 9 out of 10 from I Just Felix, and it's a shout out as well. I did shout you out earlier, my friends, but there you go. You've been shouted out again, and that's a nice score from you there, a 9. Chad says, I have to rewatch it before I can reevaluate. I liked pretty much everything, but found the pirates fairly safe and predictable. Would have loved it as a kid. Yeah, you can love it as a big kid as well. And again, like Jones Capone say, good family fun. It was a Mando. Okay. from Peter. Fun episode. So a 7.5. That's pretty high from Peter, has to be said. 10 out of 10 for the weird 70s space rock music at the bar from Clay's. I agree. It was fun. It was weird. Good weird. And you are welcome, I Just Felix. All right, everybody. I think if you haven't got your scores in, get them in now, man. And if not, we'll wrap up. Not that there's anything left to say. But yeah, sorry again if it's caught you by surprise this earlier time, or if you're watching in the future and this earlier live time was not convenient for you. But it's just the way it goes sometimes. Things are a little bit all over the place at the moment. I missed that. Call out for Bullet Canyon. Power Droid Girl, the Jeremy Bullet reference was lovely. I'm going to have to go back. Missed that entirely. This is why I don't do Easter egg videos and breakdown videos, because this kind of thing takes me a number of viewings. So in the end, I will just watch, the far more talented people online who make those breakdown and Easter egg videos. That's great. I'm going to have to go back and check that out, as well as Filoni in the bar. Matthew Stokes. Excuse me. Thoughts. Mando's N1 is kicking ass. Thank you. Paz Vizslar's speech and Grief's nobility and humility were both great. Don't trust the armorer at all. I didn't get that vibe in the moment, but when I heard what Chad was saying on his podcast, that's when it started to make sense to me. And you're feeling that as well, Mr. Matthew Stokes. Solid Man Joe from Mr. Matthew Stokes. An 8. We've had quite a lot of 8s for this episode. In fact, I think the lowest score was like a 7 or 7.5. But 7.5 from Jones, and also from David gave it a 7. 7.5 from Jones, and a very big 7.5 from Peter as well. That's great. I'm gonna have to. This is getting a rewatch, this episode, pretty soon. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. And again, apologies for the earlier time, but thank you for still making it. Gaz Nottingham says, Gaz, you're going to be at a celebration. I got into the Lucasfilm presentation at Star Wars Celebration. That's one of the big ones, right? Feel lucky and excited. Hopefully, I will see some of the Geeknd gang to say hi to. Yeah, man. If you see me, please say hello. Please come over. I think in the morning, going to be out doing like field reports and stuff, and then in the afternoon, might be some stage stuff and things. So I'll be out and about. So yeah, well done on getting into the panel there, the presentation. That's great, because it's a lottery system, isn't it? But yeah, man. And David as well. That's great. Come and say hello, please, if you see me. I'll be there. I will be just this, really, just maybe different clothes. So come and say hello, and I'll definitely say hello back. Is Ahmed a celebration? I don't know if he is. I need to start getting my head into it. That's the plan for the weekend anyway. I'm not sure if he is, to be honest. But if he is, I will give him a very big hug from all of you. Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you. And thank you, Jones, as well. Take your time with the thing that you're talking about there. And thank you, Padro Girl. All right, everybody. Matthew Stokes says, I don't have any Geekend merch. Don't think there is any anymore. So if you see a guy wandering around with a Post-it note stuck to his cap saying Geekend, it might be Mr. Matthew Stokes. Power Droid Girl brings up, I can't remember who said it, but if you see me, it's very important, and I insist on this. You have to keep waving until I'm out of sight entirely, okay? If you know, you know. And we're going to do that now, all right, everybody? So I'm going to hit end broadcast, and you got to start waving because there's an awkward lag, basically, right? Where I've clicked end broadcast, but it doesn't actually end. So it's just like, it could be me like twiddling my thumbs, or it could be all of us waving to each other, which is what we'll do. So I'm clicking end broadcast, everybody. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of the week, and hopefully see you next week. If not, definitely the week after. And I love you all. I'm clicking end broadcast.